What does this bow and a hockey stick have in common? You might be surprised. There's a lot of similarities. The similarities are that we have a shaft similar to a bow stave that we're trying to store energy, and then we want to release it forward, right? So we get the puck here, we transfer our weight, we store the energy, and then we kind of release it through, okay? With a bow, we're storing energy into a shaft, right? That energy is into the string, which goes into the arrow. This is like primal physics, been around for thousands of years. I'm not going to make it too complicated. You guys know what's going on here, okay? But what I want you to know, Justin, is that when you're shooting, you've got to store energy in your hockey stick like this bow, okay? Because right now, when you're shooting, you're coming here, you got a bunch of pucks down, and you're not being very intentional and you're too fast, okay? I like the fast twitch muscles, okay? I can tell that you're going to have a killer shot once we get you to store energy, slow you down a bit. So I need you to slow down because look, with a bow, look, if you just come over here and I just pull it back really fast and I don't store any energy in it, I just go really fast. Oh, it barely went 5 feet, that arrow, right? All right, Justin, so we got to slow everything down. This is going to give you time to kind of store energy in the stick, feel the weight transfer, and let your stick do the work rather than you kind of overworking and not actually putting energy into the stick. The whole point is to get a quick shot. When I say slow, I don't want you or people online to misunderstand me. Like, we all want a quick release, but there's a time to like let it gather and then it's quick. And then also you got to build a foundation first, right? So go slow right now. I'm going to show you guys somebody I found on TikTok. He's got one of the better shots I've seen as far as gathering that puck, slowly releasing it, and then releasing it all at once. He's got some really good flow. So I'm going to show a quick highlight of his shot. And Justin, I want you to think about that analogy of the stick being a bow throughout this whole lesson here. So watch this short clip, and then we're going to go to the analysis. And then we're going to come back to the shooting pad, and I'm going to go over all this stuff that we find. That kid's got some flow with his shot, right? That's what I mean when I say shoot it slow. Okay, I don't want you to misinterpret that because we do want a quick release. You know, we want to be able to load the stick and then, you know, have tense core muscles and release that puck quick. But we got to give ourselves time to transition, gather the energy into the stick, get some blade lag, and then shoot and transfer into your lead leg, and then rotate through, okay? So there's a couple foundational things that I want to go over with you. I don't want to make it too overwhelming, but we're going to go over your weight transfer, a little bit of your grip and what you're doing with the top hand, and then what was the third? Oh, kind of your follow through. All right, Justin, so right away, your footwork, I want you a little bit wider. You can see how you're pretty narrow. Bedard is a lot wider than you, so just widen those feet a little bit and point your toes a little bit more at the target. This is going to be a little bit more of a hockey-specific shot that mimics skating on the ice. You're on asphalt, he's on the ice. We're not going to get the same positions, but we'll get close. Right here, you'll also see that his blade is closed, right? And yours is kind of wide open. And he starts on the toe and he pulls it more to the middle of the blade. Your blade's wide open and you're shooting it off the toe. Pull it in a little bit more to the mid blade and close that blade down. One of the things that's going to help your shot more than anything is getting weight into that left leg appropriately or correctly, and then getting that left elbow down. You can see how Bedard's left elbow is against his ribs. Yours is kind of flaring because you're kind of dragging the stick through rather than engaging that top hand. So we got to get you to pull with that top hand and kind of end kind of down and release around your body. From this angle over here, you know, you're in some similar positions as Bedard. I can tell you really want to shoot like Bedard. You got fast twitch muscles. You're a strong kid. Once we work on your mechanics and we get you using your leverage and you're transferring your weight good, you're going to be in a good spot. So your left foot here, let's look at Bedard's left foot. Okay, so he kind of stomps it down like he's stepping on a bug, and you're kind of staying on your toes, and you're leaning back, your left leg is straight, and Bedard is really just planting his weight on that foot. So you really got to feel a heavy weight transfer transfer from your right as you're kind of doing that pull to the midline, and then over to your left. Bedard's left knee is also a lot more bent. It's athletic. Look at that knee. It's forward, okay? Like in that shin angle. Yours is, you have no shin angle there. This is going to be something you need to do on the ice as well. But we got to get you in an athletic position with that lead leg. And then what else do we want to talk about here? We want to talk about, I think, the wrist here. Let me adjust this here. I got to take some of these arrows back and whatnot. Hold on one second. Okay, so right here, you're not in a bad spot, but you can see how your left or your right hand, sorry, it kind of just looks like it's hanging out there. It's not extended enough. This frame is a little bit blurry on Bedard's, but his right hand, his bottom hand is really extended. That's the fulcrum. You got to put some energy in there. You can see how your stick's not loaded as much as it could be there. So really feel that bottom hand really engage. And then this is where this is all going to kind of weave together, man, is this next movement where this top hand here, what Bedard does compared to you. This might make the biggest difference with your shot right here, that and really stomping into that left leg. So watch what his shaft does here. We're going to watch this. All right, Justin, it's this position right here. You can see how you're kind of holding that angle off and how Bedard, his shaft is kind of around his body. He's kind of pulled down with that hand, and his elbow, he's kind of crunching his arm against his ribs. Yours is kind of is flail now. So you're using like half of the energy in your stick, half of your body, man, and you got a decent shot. Think about how hard we're going to get your shot once we get everything kind of linking together. So yeah, get that left elbow down. We can't see Bedard's arm here. We can see yours flailing. We're going to go back to the shooting pad, and we will kind of blend this all together. Thanks, man. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the weight transfer, Justin. Okay, so you're kind of quick and you're spinning out, and you really want to shoot it hard. You really want to shoot like Bedard, and that's good. Bedard does a lot of things that are really good, and he's got one of the best shots in the NHL, but I want to simplify it for you, okay? So I want you to do what Bedard is doing, where he gets into that leg, he kind of plants it, he's not on his toes, he's not spinning, okay? And his knee's a little bit forward, okay? We got to get your weight into here, and then you got to release all the way around, okay? So we want to get you transferring your weight. You're going to be right to left, okay? You're a righty, so you got to transfer into that left leg, plant it athletically, okay? Feel that weight go into it. And then from there, you've got to be able to pull down like this, okay? You're kind of steering the shaft and you're ending it up here. You're kind of pulling it and spinning onto those toes and then going like this really quick. And we've got to get you more over here, right to left, and then going kind of like that. Obviously, I'm not a righty, so it's hard to demonstrate. So that's going to be huge for you. I like to feel like I'm just kind of squishing a can with my arm here. We're going to get it like this. Bedard does like cross the hands because he uses such a long stick. That's a big difference between Matthews and Bedard, is that Matthews uses a way shorter stick. Matthews doesn't cross his hands quite as much. He kind of gets his arm like this and stops a little bit sooner. So I'd like you to kind of find what works better for you. I shoot more like Matthews because my stick is shorter, and I'm a lefty. So those are going to be two things that you really got to work on, man, is look, shooting into that leg and then getting this hand here, bowing that top wrist, and then like that, and then just kind of flow it through rather than spinning and jumping and stuff. Another thing is we got to feel some sensory input in these hands, okay? This bottom hand here, you're going to be like this, obviously. I don't want you guys to get confused. I don't have to keep saying it probably, but so we got to feel some sensory input right here. Your bottom hand doesn't really look like it's cocked and creating leverage right here, so I really want you to feel this hand closing that blade down, because you're also opening that blade. We got to close that blade down. Feel this hand right here cock. Feel your weight transfer. Feel that blade lag right here. Transfer into that lead leg and then kind of flow it through. And we want to kind of aim to shoot like that TikToker. I think his name was like Daniel or Dylan Henders, D.Henders on TikTok. I think he's a college player, but really good flow. That's shoot like that, okay? That's how I want to shoot too. But yeah, we gotta blend it all together. Let's feel the sensory input in the hands. Let's feel the friction, the shot kind of gather, and then don't just spin out. Feel the weight transfer, feel the energy gather into that bottom hand, and then this, release it like you're slinging dirt at the target, and kind of blend that all through. I wanna see some follow-up footage, okay? So send me some more footage of you shooting, and then kind of blend this together. Just keep it simple, okay? Watch Bedard shoot, watch Matthews shoot, and keep videoing yourself shoot, man. I'm excited to work with you. You're an athletic dude. Eventually, we're gonna get you working on a really quick release, but right now, just go slow, feel the whole body engage, feel the whole stick release around your body, and have some fun, man.